All right, so as an intuitive, I had to learn my lesson once I got bit by a dog and then kicked out of the Airbnb the same night. See, that happened because I didn't listen to my intuition. That happened because I had dreams and didn't listen to that. As human beings, we're just taught to see what's in front of our very eyes. We're not taught to see what's inside of us. Like, isn't the inside more important than the outside? Like, and I know that's like technically a saying, but really it's not even a saying. It's just, why wouldn't your organs and the things that are keeping you alive hold more merit than the thing outside of you? But the thing is, right, we don't see our organs or our internal systems as intuitive or anything spiritual. We just see it as a practical item that's placed up inside of us to give us human being structures. I don't know what I'm saying, but the point is, right, it doesn't make sense for us to not listen to our intuition anymore. After COVID happened, that was a wrap for me. I was like, wow, this is really the time that we're on where the world can just shut down like that. That lets you know anything can happen. So I say that because there was a point in time where I did have a dream of COVID. Like, I didn't know what it was going to be called, but I did see a lot of lots of deaths were going to happen. There was a point where even on the news during COVID, like, they were given tallies of COVID deaths. I remember that very clearly. That was a bit crazy because they don't give tallies on all the other deaths going on in the world, but that time they decided to do that for COVID. So, you know what that means. You should know what that means. But outside of that, just our day to day as kids, we come out the womb intuitive, to be honest with you, because we're not boggled down. Our brain isn't worrying about where we're going to live, what we have to pay for, what we have to eat. We just know that we're trying to survive and exist. So we pick up on all these little things. We'll go and tell our parents, hey, I saw this. Hey, I felt this. We're going and speaking to adults who don't get it. And then as the more and more we listen to the adults, the more and more we tune into the outside world compared to ourselves, the less and less intuitive we get. So when we have all these crazy dreams, when we have something saying don't cross that road, we block it out because we're like, well, no. So it's like, who taught us to debate our internal workings? I think it's just the fact that the mind can also be impractical, because the thing is, we're also learning. We don't have everything figured out, so we learn as we go, and that gets used against us. That mechanism gets highlighted, which is why people struggle to try multiple times. People struggle to be patient. People struggle to connect with themselves because those things are being highlighted, and then now you're going through this loop of judgment instead of actually saying, wait, my intuition's saying maybe I shouldn't do this, or my intuition's saying maybe I should do more of this. But instead of listening to that layer, we get locked into the fact that we can make mistakes and highlight that more than anything else. And that's why it gets hard to take risk in life. That's why it gets hard to try new things, because you don't want to have to struggle. You want to feel safe, because the mind does that. And when you want to feel safe, intuition isn't always safe. Intuition is going to tell you, hey, there's actually danger. Hey, there's something that you need to be worried about. Or, hey, this is something that you need to look forward to. Hey, this is something to know that it will come for sure. It's just about time. Those things get blocked out because you want the mind to be comfortable. And if you're going through excitement or anxiety, because sometimes it's the same workings. When you're really excited and when you're really nervous, it can literally operate on the same line. You're going to block out your nerves and you're going to block out your excitement when you just want to be comfortable and not get outside of your comfort zone, when you just want to know everything instead of knowing that you don't. People forget that when they do lock themselves into a specific craft or a specific way of life and don't be receptive to anything else, yes, you can master it. Yes, you can feel good about it. So when that happens, and so when it comes to how we process our intuition and our reality, it gets boggled down because you want to be the one who knows this topic. You want to feel safe. So we don't realize that, yes, we're blocking out nerves, but you're also blocking out excitement. And then that's when life feels repetitious. That's when life feels boring. That's when you have to say, oh, can't wait for the weekend. That's when you have to say, oh, I can't believe I did all these hours. Like, that's what happens. Because now when we look at different career paths, especially like entertainment industry, business industries, any industries that requires creativity and risk, that has to work with intuition as well. So that's a different world that you start to operate from once you step into it. But majority of people don't see that reality. They just see, well, I see this is being put out. I can enjoy this. I can dislike it, whatever path or opinion they pick. They're not seeing the intuition behind it. Most people who are creative, most people who are business owners, and especially when they're good at it, are intuitive, because it takes intuition to be creative to some degree. It says, hey, I have an idea, I'm going to put it out there. That's intuition. But we see creativity and we don't see it combined. We just see the results that you get from creativity rather than the process of it. So when you're going through that motion as a creative, or when you're going through that motion as a business owner, and even business itself is creative, creating systems that make something functional is creative. We just see, oh, well, that system works. Well, we just see that this process adds up. And then we make it this very dense structural thing, when really this happens in flow state. When people have business issues and they see problems, they have to look at the evidence and then be creative on solving that evidence. They can't look at every single thing around them and listen to everyone around them telling them something and say, that's how I'm going to fix the issue. They have to look at what the data is providing and piece together what they're seeing and what they're feeling, and then connect it and solve it. But more often than not, they say don't have feelings in business, which to some degree, no, but you can have creativity. So it's a whole different world, and we really respect the people who are business owners, people who are creatives, because they really change the world. They create money, joy, emotions, energy. They create a way for other people to keep going. Like they all do in some way, whether it's internally or externally. They're working with the same mechanisms, it's just expressed differently. And that's what we're saying is like, intuition isn't just like, oh, you're just sitting with the birds, hugging trees, and you're poor, and like, that's good. Like, yeah, that's all I need. And it's like, are you just saying that because you believe that intuition can't show up in different ways, that you're stuck in this fantasy land program, not knowing that that can be a day-to-day reality for you? When something tells you, hey, I want to go here, and then you meet someone who changes your life, or you meet someone that you collaborate with, that happens all the time to creatives and business owners and everyone in that space, where the alignment just comes up because they work with their intuition. They'll say, I'll pick this and do this, and they'll act on it, and before you know it, something cool happens. Because you'll be looking at these people and being like, oh my gosh, how did they meet them? How did this person link up? How did that? That's why. Because they're listening to their intuition. And sometimes, again, everyone doesn't listen to themselves all the time, or every single part of their world. Sometimes we're all human. Them same business owners too. They'll learn from their mistakes and be like, hey, I thought this would work, and realize it doesn't. So it's not saying that these people are all perfect and that they're not like you and I and all the other people who are coming up. Everyone's the same, it's just expressed differently, which is counterintuitive, but you get what I'm saying. The point is, right, you have to like learn that your intuition doesn't have to be what everyone's telling you it is. Like you can strive for things and connect with things. You can live intuitively every day. You don't have to put it as a separate entity. You can make sure it's a part of you. Because that's another thing too, especially in the spiritual community. I noticed it was a big thing of people being like, it's fine to be broke and like poor and struggle because you're spiritual, and like, or people are like religious, they'll be like, oh, I'm suffering in this world, but once I die and stuff, that's when everything will work out. Like, that's what gets pushed. You know, we shouldn't see spirituality or being intuitive as something that's going to deprive us from things here, that we have to be constrained, and that it's going to be something you put in your back pocket and all you now have to focus on is surviving. You know, intuition helps you thrive. It helps you see, it helps you connect, it helps you experience. It's not just use it in danger. It's use it for everything. It's a part of human nature. That's how we survived so long before all of these things popped up, which I believe everything we have now was from intuition, because someone intuitively felt like, hey, I need to create a fan. I need to create a light. I need to create a phone. Somebody had that process in their head, and look where we are today. That didn't have to be this, oh, let's struggle and let's not think through things and act on them and then put them in the corner and then say that that's okay because we're spiritual. You know, that's a big thing that too many people are falling for, and I think it's put on a bad stereotype for people who especially aren't as religious or don't follow the Abrahamic faiths. It's like this, be spiritual and poor. Even, I mean, honestly, everyone who's saying that they're on that time, even if you are like whatever your faith is, whatever the case is, but saying that you're on that time and saying that you have to struggle and you have to put your creativity in the corner, no. Creativity, intuition is the very reasons why all the things we're using today are here, because someone said, I'm going to listen to myself. Cool.